One.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 7 of Wayward Sons, Never Split the Party's Supernatural RPG live stream. Actual play campaign, all these other words that are quite meaningless if you don't know what I'm talking about. We play RPG tabletops, we roll dice, we are different characters almost every other time, but for this campaign where I made the players play as themselves,
Never again.
that's never going to happen again. Tonight we are starting a brand new hunt, which we've been calling arcs in the Supernatural campaign. So if you haven't seen our other episodes, you might miss some of the background noise, but you're still fine to get the plot elements for this set of, whatever monsters they're hunting right now. And then we're good to go. I'm going to give introductions. We're going to do some quick updates, kind of calendar stuff, and then we will jump into the episode, because if you want to recap, go back and watch the other episodes, you punks. My name is Dustin. I also go by the Arbitrary Nerd, and I'm the GM for this campaign and pretty much every other one until I make Chris do it.
We're on episode 7?
Yeah, Patrick. You've only been there for like 3 of them, though, so.
Fair point. Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm sometimes here. I play Patrick. And since I was told to talk about my curse, I'm forced to not be a vegetarian. Of course, Dustin would do that to me, because in real life, vegetarian. But now I have to eat the things we kill. So fun.
Well,
Next.
I mean, at least you know they're organic,
he's
right?
been thinking about that when he did it either.
I have to admit
died.
something. Michael's right.
It's just an added benefit.
I wasn't actually thinking about that. I always forget you're a vegetarian because that's stupid.
So you're an ass accidentally too?
Yes, 100%.
Well, subconsciously he knew it.
Oh, totally.
Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
And I am Michael, and obviously playing myself. And as far as
Not now.
Sorry, Michael.
I didn't say with, so what the hell are you just laughing about?
I heard it in my head anyways.
It was there. Doesn't matter. We're
And-
children.
Fair enough. And as far as my curse, I was given a spirit guide in the form of the fallen hunter Joseph, who likes to appear under extreme or strenuous circumstances.
Call that strenuous, huh?
I think we were saying under periods of heightened senses or feelings.
Those.
So I've been perusing the NSFW subreddits.
Yes. Yeah, you can say it. It's porn. I don't know which of you is up next, Justin or Chris. This order is confusing to me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all screwed me up.
Yeah. Good job, Michael.
Go for it, Chris.
Oh, all right. My name's Chris. I play Chris. And in terms of curses, well, I just got married over the weekend.
That's a real life joke. Chris did just get married. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. But I used that one pre-stream and it didn't go over as well. But no, anyways, my curse in-game is the ability to see auras. And I actually kind of feel the same emotions that the person whose aura I'm feeling also is feeling. Does that make sense?
Like half sense, but enough that I think everyone gets it.
I thought you said orbs.
Orbs.
O-R-B-S.
Yeah,
I'm like,
ghost orbs.
You could also
Great
feel their
talent.
orbs if you wanted to.
Yes.
Here, let me get those eyeballs going. I'm just gonna touch those real nice. Like, ooh, nice.
So,
Ooh.
When the waitress was feeling a bit randy, I was feeling a bit confused.
she wasn't feeling Randy. She was
Especially
feeling
'cause
Patrick.
you wrote Patrick.
Yeah.
Joseph made sure I knew what was going on.
Yes.
All right,
Okay, Justin.
I'm Justin. I play with Chris.
Yeah.
Yay.
Anyways, yeah, and my curse is that I am slightly clairvoyant. I can touch somebody and see how they die. Or
If they're
a
gonna die
possible
soon.
death. Yeah,
If they're gonna
possible
die
death.
soon, and I think so far it's only been tragic deaths. I don't think we've tested it
Yeah.
further enough to know if it's just natural death.
Yep.
Well, I imagine it's only when people are getting murdered, since he sees it as though he's the murderer.
Yeah. Well,
and who knows what kind of ramifications that's going to have later.
all right. Introductions out of the way. Just a quick update. We are gonna do this arc of Supernatural. It's a little bit abbreviated, or I guess more so than I thought, but I am going to wrap up this arc as the first season of the show. I think in general, when we do stints in Supernatural, it'll be relatively short. And that's assuming anyone asks us to come back and play Supernatural. I think this arc will probably last 3 to 4 episodes, and then we will be back, I think, jumping into Starfinder. They've released a couple more books since we stepped away, which is what I want. I want more material to come from Paizo, the company that puts out Starfinder. Also, I don't mind breaks from, sci-fi and jumping into other realms. After this arc, Supernatural will be kind of on a cliffhanger. Spoiler, guys, it's gonna end on a cliffhanger. Unless you all die, cliff hung. Yeah, but with the cliffhanger, it's gonna be one of those things where when we come back to like the thought to do a rotation, Supernatural will be one of the ones that we consider, or we just do something completely new because, also I really want to play Firefly at some point, and Star Wars, and make a Gundam RPG, and maybe a Persona RPG, and then there's superhero stuff that looks cool too, but they're never allowed to play themselves again. All right. I don't think I have any other announcements. It was just that I want people to know that Starfinder is on the horizon. We will still be publishing podcast episodes. Wayward Sons will be pretty much uploaded soon, hopefully sometime this week, if not the next week. And we're catching up slowly on publishing what we have for the first half of Starfinder Season 2. Justin, Michael, Christopher, and Patrick, do you guys have any updates or things you want to update folks with?
Well, I did just buy a random Japanese RPG called Ryutama that I will be hopefully, yeah, we both bought it. Hopefully that'll be a thing that happens at some point. But I'm currently just kind of formulating stuff right now. So,
did you mention November? I kind of spaced out for a second.
I didn't this time, but I will mention it again. In November, we will be doing a side break where Chris will be running the, as he's showing on screen for audio folks, it is the cover of the Starfinder one-shot called Skitter Shot that Paizo released for Free RPG Day this year. Chris has read through it and noticed it is woefully short, so he will be doing some of what's in there and then probably, ruining the rest of the universe, because I did give him the power of adjusting canon for our overall Starfinder campaign during the Skitter Shot.
Terrible idea.
After November, I will come back and we'll probably just doing Starfinder Season 2 still at that point.
Now, do you think, you can tell me yes or no, or maybe whatever, but do you think we will be going into Starfinder by the time we get into there?
Let's see. So if I say that this is going to take about 3 or 4 episodes,
I'd imagine, yeah.
2, what is that? Okay, I can't do math. 2, 3, 4. If we'd be really close, it might be worth even dragging out Supernatural until November for that purpose. Then, or would you rather start up?
I think it would be better if we start with Starfinder and roll into this. If we can.
I believe I remember you mentioning something that would. Okay, all right, yeah. So we'll do that. We'll probably pick up at least the week before, if not 2 weeks before. So we'll get at least 1 episode under our belts of the regular Starfinder campaign. Maybe we'll do like a nice pull-out scene for that episode where we kind of drift off into some tease for the Skittermanders or what's happening with them in the universe, and come back from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Chris, you and I should probably touch base on that transition in case we want to get more particular. But
yes.
Yeah, all right. So with that said, we're going to jump into Supernatural now, guys. I know these characters are totally unfamiliar to you and really freaking weird looking, but it has been about... I'm sorry, what was that, Michael?
I said especially Patrick. He eats tongues.
It has been about a month since you guys wrapped up the hunt where you guys found the creature whose name I can't possibly say, the Magnana thing. What was it? You found a shorter term for that, Justin?
Mananangal or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. And you even got
you
got the pronunciation down, I think. Nice. Yeah, so you guys wrapped up that hunt and you're kind of dealing with how that affected you in your own ways. Justin, you've been having nightmares ever since of Matthew, that store clerk you ran into, dying over and over again. And from your point of view in the dreams, it's always you killing Matthew, but it's never in the same way twice. Sometimes it's similar where you're sneaking up behind him in the storeroom of the horror shop and you're strangling him to death. Other times he's sleeping at the desk, and from your point of view, it is your long proboscis-like tongue inserted into his body, draining him of his life force. And other times he wakes up and you rip him limb from limb, reveling for once in the warm flow of blood that you usually take in so slowly. This has obviously been causing you to lose sleep a little bit, and you've become slightly more anxious around anyone and everyone. And it hasn't necessarily made you agoraphobic per se. However, going out into large crowds or large spaces with people possibly gathering, you do your damn best to not touch anyone.
So like real life.
Basically in real life, yeah. Coming into contact with people makes you extremely nervous, and you're kind of skittish about it. And every time you kind of go to, give your wife a hug or a kiss, welcome back from the workday, you're always wondering, is this the day that I'm going to see her die?
Yeah, that's a good point. Holy crap.
I know it's a good point.
Yeah. Out. That sucks.
Oh, what a cocky comeback. I know it's a good point. Shut up.
Michael, Joseph hasn't really been bugging you that much. He seems to be getting more along with you than you thought, but you are noticing from the little time you knew him when he was alive, there does seem to be a personality shift going on. Now that he's detached from corporeal form, he's become detached from things like inhibitions, and I guess ambition in other ways, and the things that he kind of says or attempts to get you to do don't always line up with things conducive for your health or appropriate conduct in a work environment, for example. It's almost like he's trying to live vicariously through you, but also as if fully understanding that nothing that actually happens to you affects him. So he's kind of like egging you on, kind of like in high school when your buddies would try and get you to drink that gallon of milk all at once. You totally won't puke, chug, 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 and then you throw up everywhere. He's trying to get you to throw up everywhere. Most recently, he's been really trying to urge you to, while you're making deliveries, peep in windows and just see what you can see, with a weird urgency to look into like bathroom windows. He's kind of turning into a creep, you're picking up. So far, you've been able to resist the urges, but
I wouldn't have any urges.
They seem,
unless there's unnatural.
They seem to be a little unnaturally compelling because they are very out of character for you. And if you lower your focus, you feel like your footsteps are maybe kind of trying to turn in the direction of where Joseph's telling you. Christopher, you haven't really had much opportunity to try out your powers. You used them effectively on the hunt last time when you touched the waitress, or sorry, rather when you synced with the waitress and you got her aura. But you can still kind of taste her in your brain, where some of the feelings you have, you're not 100% sure they came from you.
Does that mean he still has odd feelings for Patrick?
No, it's not. It's not that specific. It's just that every now and then there's a lingering doubt if your emotions are your own. You had a pretty good grasp on who you were before being cursed, before becoming a hunter. Maybe it's just the added stress, but maybe it's something else. Also, with how much it kind of tired you out, you have some concerns about using the ability regularly.
Sure do.
Will it get stronger?
Really?
Or will you get weaker? Patrick,
He's dumb.
you're... Yes,
You're
true.
muted.
I keep muting myself so that I'm not rude to other people, so that I don't like interject them, because I think everybody all the time, and I just shut my mic off so that I stop doing that. But then when I actually have a point to make,
I thought he was joking, like, because we always say you're muted, and then I'm watching the Twitch stream, and a second later, because it's delayed, you start running your mouth and no sound comes out.
You know what's great is that I don't cut those parts either.
no.
Yeah. I should have just given you the curse of being mute. That would have been a better idea. However, would
only be a curse for him. For everybody else, it'd be a blessing.
Yep.
You're right. Except anytime you guys are in a social situation ever.
Yep.
All right. Now
we have to rely on Chris more.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Chris can do it, but Chris can also be really awkward and start vibing them too hard. Now, Patrick, you have some questions for yourself. You've been feeling a strong sense of purpose, but it's been directionless. And this has been the case since you left Stoneman Camp months ago at this point, where you guys officially became hunters against your will a little bit, a lot of it.
All of it.
All the bits. This purpose has come into focus a couple of times, and it seems to pull you towards things that you desperately do not want to do. For the first hunt, you had been compelled to grab a little bit of the changeling leftover goop. You didn't know why you did it then, but you just grabbed some and slipped it into your pocket. And it was only during the drive home, when you were kind of drifting and tired, that you realized that you'd actually inserted it into your mouth and swallowed it. You threw up for a little bit after that, and you tried to wash out your mouth, and you clear out everything about that. I mean, that's so unlike you. You don't eat meat. You're a vegetarian by design, by choice.
Yep.
And this compulsion was not you. The next time it happened was when you went on a test hunt with your fake FBI friend, Allset. And you guys had hunted something simple. It was some undead zombie or ghoul or something. You don't quite remember, but you distinctly remember eating a little bit of its fingernail, which wasn't meat, I guess. So that was a plus. But you still tried to resist it, and that's when you found that with resistance came pain. It started as a nosebleed, but the longer you resisted, transitioned to an eye bleed, to almost passing out physically in pain, until you plopped it in your mouth and swallowed it. Every time you've gone on a hunt, which again, there's been some small ones in between, you've had to take a trophy and consume it, no matter how much you really don't want to. This came to a head when you actually had to consume it in front of someone this last hunt. The pressure was so strong, this sense of purpose pushed you to remove the mananangals. Justin, help me out here.
Mananangal.
That thing's tongue, its proboscis snake-like tongue, and consume it in its entirety, during which Michael noticed, as you guys are going down the fire escape, you eating this thing like it was fruit by the foot.
Do you also want me to say proboscis correctly too?
Am I saying that wrong every time? Proboscis?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
God, why don't these words just sound like they look? Proboscis. Thank you, John. Listen, I will spell you under a table. I won't speak you under any damn thing. As you ate this tongue, you keep thinking about that. You get the texture of meat. Maybe you remember that meat wasn't so bad always, but it's very far against what you want to be doing. Not only that, this was something that you killed. Like, you had a hand in ending its life. And then
you put your hand in its innards.
You went and consumed it.
No, I made you do that, Michael.
That's correct. He just sprinkled it with
Oh, that's right. I just wiped it on.
I did the Salt Bay.
Thank you, Christopher, you bastard. Christopher literally just spelled out "you" under the table. You bastard. Patrick, this has made you question some things. I don't know how serious you would do it, but anytime you try to make a major adjustment to your life right now, or I don't know, maybe you try to slap yourself to try and get the images of just the eating of the tongue and the constant reminder of its juicy feeling going down your throat out of your head, you find you can't even come to hit yourself. And that's been a weird thing for you. Not that you're fond of self-punishment, but not being able to is kind of odd, right? Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I'm just trying to say you can't hurt yourself, Gov. That's it. You're probably not in the face, right? Is that what you're trying to say? You wouldn't? Yeah. All right. Right. You guys are all individually pondering your change in circumstances, your unique curses and pulls that you guys have, your quirks that have been kind of piling on. and you're going throughout your day. You grab the recent stack of mail. You flip through to a bill or a postcard from a family member. Maybe it's a happy birthday card if one of you guys has a birthday in whatever month this is. I think we were in October last time, so we're straight up in November, so it's also getting chilly. Maybe you got a really early Christmas card because some of your family is aggressive. When you guys open this piece of mail, it no longer looks like what you anticipate it to be. What you're holding in your hand is an extremely ornate, textured piece of either paper or cardstock or something of the sort. It has fine text in gold filigree. Am I saying that right, Justin? Filigree? Yep. Thank you. In gold filigree. And it has a text on it. And the words say, the bulk of it is, you are cordially invited to the wedding of Terrence Ellison to Martha Bethany. And it gives you a date for 1 week away. And it gives the location as Kingsport, New York, which a quick Google search shows is a pretty affluent town in upstate New York. Somewhat remote and removed, not near any of the major cities, certainly not near. It's hours away, hours north of New York City, but it doesn't quite reach, Buffalo or any other northern city in New York that I cannot remember the name of because I don't. And when or if you try to show these to someone else, your significant others, a family member, whomever's next to you, they just see your water bill or that Christmas card, and they kind of think you're losing it, which maybe they've been watching you for a while and thinking, man, that boy ain't right in the head.
What is the marriage to again? I'm sorry.
Marriage is to Terrence Ellison and Martha Bethany. And again, the date's a week out, so arbitrary day in November. We will say it is November. It is November 16th now. Oh, no, wait. We're getting too close to Thanksgiving for that, aren't we? It's November 9th now in game, and the wedding is going to be on the 17th of November, which I hope is no holiday. Do you guys have any reaction to opening these invitations?
I assume Amanda opened it, and
well, Amanda wouldn't have seen an invitation. It's only when you look over at it.
And I never saw it.
Okay, maybe it was a card directly labeled to Christopher, and it's a very late wedding present from one of your. Oh wait, would you've gotten married in this canon, or would the stress of hunting put the wedding off? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. Technically, we started before you got married, and then you got married in real life. Are you married in Supernatural, the game?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna say it's like a late wedding card actually directed to you, or Amanda shows it to you because it has really nice art drawn on it, which is one of the things you guys asked for your RSVP. You know what? It's goddamn Patrick's RSVP months late because he said Molly lost it, and it has a really nice rendition of a dick on it because I assume that's what Molly would draw at Patrick's.
She drew butts.
Oh, butts. Okay, it's a butt. I'm so close.
With and what did it say? Don't worry.
Okay, so the butt.
Yeah, that was my fault.
It doesn't even say don't panic.
Yes. I meant to say don't panic,
yeah.
But I had my coffee in hand and I went, and put a tattoo of "Don't worry" on his butt cheek. He'll get it.
It also says conflatulations.
It wasn't until I got there that I went.
Oh wait, I did see the conflatulations one. I didn't notice the tattoo.
Yeah.
How had I seen that? Right. Well, in this universe, it came really late because Patrick did complain about it coming late.
I don't know if it can come much later than day of. So
you guys keep on saying that.
Came late.
Yeah, keep on coming late.
Justin, this is not an adult podcast.
PG, Justin.
No, this one's fucking.
Fuck up.
Goddamn kids watching this shit.
Yeah, poor Steven. Steve, we're sorry.
Stupid.
Oh god, it's Justin's baby brother's watching too. You bastards.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to cut this stuff. Let me get another clap.
All right, guys. Every time you need Justin to cut something.
Pretty much.
All right. So yeah, Amanda shows you this really late, artistically drawn buttocks. Except you don't see the butt, and you're really confused as to why she's showing you this wedding invitation because you sure as hell do not know Terrence Ellison or Martha Bethany. I'm not sure you know anyone named Martha. That's a weird ass name.
It's an
Mhm.
In
old
my
ass
opinion.
name.
I'm just projecting. Sorry,
Just
Martha.
an old name.
You're old.
That's a French ass name, Yvonne. Sorry. Last pop culture reference for the day.
Looks like I'm going on a business trip next week.
Yeah, you got. Amanda's like, I don't. What do you mean?
You know that thing that we don't talk about that we probably should but don't? Yeah. I should start packing.
Are you gonna kill Patrick?
Probably.
Mm,
Oh,
mm.
okay. What about this artistic rendition of a buttocks is
Let's
making
see,
you?
an artistic rendition of a buttock. I wish I did, but I don't. And
Oh.
I'd probably go look for my pistols.
Well, they're in the basement. Like I asked you to keep them there. I hope. And where are you going this time?
New York.
Where in New York?
Where again? I didn't write it down.
Kingsport.
Kingsport.
You know, not bad scenery over there. Think I could tag along? Maybe I could go on a hike while you're working?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Sounds like a bad idea.
This is a terrible idea.
It's
the worst
a
idea.
really shit idea.
So here's the question: will Dustin kill our family and friends? in the
Yes,
game?
yes. I was gonna kill myself, you pieces of shit. Of course your families aren't allowed to live. Oh God. I'm gonna turn you fuckers into Batmans and Spider-Mans up in here. Yeah, all right. Amanda's excited. She goes to pack, which takes her 10 seconds because she already has a bag ready to go for hiking, and it's more so you take longer.
Okay, then this is definitely a parallel universe.
Oh, she takes forever to get packed. God, I always figure she's so much more like coordinated and prepared than you.
Oh no. It takes me about 10, 15 minutes to be ready and out of the house.
Damn.
She takes her time.
All right, well, she takes all fucking week to get ready then. I don't care. You guys have a week.
Yeah, that actually is a bit more accurate.
One thing. Whose car are we taking?
We'll take yours just in case we need to drive or you need to drive.
Way.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I will clear stuff out with work. Good to go. Maybe take the weekend and maybe a couple days around it. Good. Let's do this.
Good.
Do I need a gun?
You can have one of mine. I have plenty.
Do I want a gun?
No, you just want to stay away from me.
How about I'll drop you off with the guys when I go hiking. I'll pick
Sounds perfect.
a cabin or something, but I'll be up there. So just don't forget and leave without me.
I'm not
Are you sure?
positive.
You remember that one time?
Which time?
I don't know.
All
All right. All right. Yeah, sure. Chris is bringing or carpooling with Amanda, so he will not be in the truck for the ride up at least. Justin, what's your clearance with your family to go on this hunt, or what your combo with Jen, anyways?
I'd probably look at the card like, hey, do we know Martha and what was that? That's a weird name.
Terrence.
Terrence?
That's Terry's name.
Whose name is Terrence?
You know Terry.
I don't know any Terrence. Do you know a Terrence?
You know Terry.
You mean like Terry?
Maybe. I've never met a Terrence in my life, so I have no idea.
Why do you ask?
Because I got invited to the wedding. I don't know, is there a +1 on this?
Yeah, there would technically be on the invite, yes.
Oh, I guess we got invited to some wedding. Terry and Martha, who never heard of them.
Can I see that?
Yep.
She comes over, she kind of pulls out of your hand, and she says, "So, how high are you exactly?" And
I don't know, what time is it?
I don't know. When do you get your mail, Justin?
In the day, so probably not.
Okay. This is the water bill.
We don't have water bill. We don't have a water bill.
Fuck off, Justin.
We have a well.
We don't have water
We
bill.
don't have water bill.
Fuck off. Sorry, I misspoke. It's the electric bill.
I don't pay bill.
That's not That's not electric. Shit.
George.
Assholes.
All right. Yep. I'm gonna have to go again.
Oh, it doesn't look like the bill to you.
No.
What it's a
Probably some
wedding
magic
invitation?
bullshit.
I like magic bullshit.
Yeah, you don't want this magic bullshit.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't want your magic bullshit.
Think of like Harry Potter, like, you know, the note coming to you, except instead of like going to Hogwarts, you're going to like, I don't know, Auschwitz.
Do you mean Azkaban? Are you trying to say
Yes.
Azkaban?
There you go, Azkaban. That one.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't want an invitation letter on my 11th birthday to Azkaban. That's fair, Justin. I'll let you take this one.
Definitely not Auschwitz.
Well, I know what Justin meant, and I think he meant to say Auschwitz, but
No, yeah, I totally meant to say.
I think Jen would tie it to Azkaban, which is the, I guess,
Yes.
technical equivalent to
I
something
wish that
really
was
bad.
an accident.
Not quite an Auschwitz parallel, but all right, that's fine. All right, Jen will not be attending, and she's going to have girls' night, girls' night out. See what you can get together.
Good.
All right, Michael, you got to clear that shit with anyone, son?
Nope.
What do you tell Rob when he asks you what you're doing that weekend because he wants to play Destiny?
There's your first problem.
No, I assume there's an expansion out. I figured he'd be playing Destiny now. Am I wrong? Am I off touch? I haven't talked to
Very
Rob in a
wrong.
while. Poor
He
bastard.
does not play.
All right. Well, fine. While Rob's trying to wrangle his children, what does he do?
I just simply say I'm working.
Okay. All right. He buys that, and I guess he's not going to fight you working. And you've been doing these extended trips for a while now, so he's getting kind of used to them. That's okay. Patrick, what do you tell the Mollusk?
I already have this idea in my scene, or at least as far as the other guys are concerned. I never talk about it. Ever. I've never brought it up. People ask, and I say I don't want to talk about it. I never bring it up. In my scene, I'm just driving solo in my PT Cruiser.
How many
You
dings
could
are on
just
it?
carpool
Wait, you don't want to
with
carpool with me?
Well, no, he's just getting the mail. I think is what he's saying. I'd say if you wanted.
I was just describing my scene.
Go for it.
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
if
go
you're
for it.
bouncing with all these different things in my scene, I'm just quiet in my car, driving down the highway. My bag is packed on the side of me. I'm listening to country music. I look down to the right and I see the invitation on the seat wedged halfway underneath my my backpack.
Mhm.
I take it out, look at it, throw it into the back seat, and just drive off. And there's a sign, New York, X many hundred miles.
Okay. All right. So you're just not giving me an option to play Molly, is what you're saying.
You got it.
The one person who I'm allowed to have sex with you as a character, I can't actually be that character.
I don't want to get those two things ever mixed up in my brain.
God damn it! He's seen through my perfect plan. Foiled again.
Well,
You
Molly
were
does
listening
have
to
all of our phone
country?
numbers.
I was a little alarmed by that as well.
By what?
You listen to country.
I
Pretty
listen to
gross.
everything.
I mean, if you had said like hobo music, yeah, sure, because I know that you do.
I do listen to hobo music too.
But like country,
Never mind.
really?
I don't care.
It was probably Queen.
It would never be Queen.
No, you
Direct-
literally
direct
just
quote
said
to Patrick.
everything.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
you.
just-
Sometimes I am forced.
Everything.
Sometimes I am held against my will in the middle of a dance floor while people blast Queen violently in my ears from the
Oh, I
speaker.
dragged you.
You dragged me. Terry kept me on. Everyone kept me on.
So you do know it, Terry. You guys lied.
I told you.
I don't know it, Terry.
Not this Terry.
I also I held Patrick with his will.
You held my ass.
I gotta make reality match the fiction, bro.
I don't think you do, but continue. The
Uh,
game, not actually me.
I mean, there's a reason why Dustin hits on you with every character that he makes.
It's not exactly a Freudian slip anymore, guys. Come on.
This wouldn't be funny if you did it to the rest of us.
I know you guys think I call him Pat Dick as a joke because he's a dick.
Move on to the next scene.
Fine. You guys all so it looks like it's going to be for carpool, probably Michael and Justin going to New York in the Ford, the pickup, which I don't have. I don't care. The Ford pickup. Chris goes with Amanda in whatever vehicle they drive, but you guys will coordinate a little bit outside of Kingsport, where Chris gets dropped off and joins up with Michael and Justin. And Patrick decided to drive himself solo. Not sure why. He's been kind of moody lately. What was that?
In his PT Cruiser.
In his PT Cruiser, his wood-paneled PT Cruiser. That, while Chris had command of it, got some street art on the side. What was the street art of?
I'm sorry, I missed that. What was that?
You got some street art stenciled on the side of the PT Cruiser.
Oh, let's see. I want it to be a big old flame decal.
Okay. Yep.
With
On a PT Cruiser.
Yep. 100%. Yep. Loving it.
We're gonna stick with the nice flame decal.
Okay. Fucking gnarly looking.
You put a spoiler on that?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I actually
Cruiser?
super glued, like luring engineer. If you want, I can roll for it. I can jury rig. But
No, I think I'm okay.
I installed a spoiler on it.
I want to drive in that.
If there's a car chase, I'll make you roll for your engineering to see how great it works. All right, yeah. Patrick has continued to hang on to the car because it was rented not in his name, so it's a little bit easier to get around on hunts. He's a little worried he's drawing more attention to himself, which he kind of already stands out, so that's unfortunate. But again, it makes a convenient getaway car for now that if he happens to crash and burn, he doesn't have much attachment to.
And it'd be slightly ironic with the flame decals.
Yes. I'm going to let that one go. Someone recommended a Calvin peeing sticker in the chat. Well, someone as in Justin's younger brother, but that's fine. I believe Steve just found a picture of Chris's car, or is he mean? I think he means Patrick's car, but that's okay. Sorry. Moving on. All right, you guys all arrive, and you decide to coordinate in the closest thing you can find to a diner. And New York has a fair amount of diners, probably more so than Massachusetts ever will. However, in the town of Kingsport, you don't find anything approaching like a diner, like a nice rustic restaurant. The town of Kingsport actually seems to be made up of more mansions and major real estate than it does actual commercial districts. Doing a little bit more read up on the town, you find that Kingsport is actually a hamlet of a bigger town whose name doesn't matter, but we'll call it Mountain Kill.
Mountain Kill.
No, Mountain Kill. The town is Mountain Kill. For those who don't know, in New York, they use old-timey language, and kill used to mean river or some sort of waterway. So like you get towns like Fishkill as like that's a legit town in New York. I couldn't think of another one. So Mountain Kill, that's where you guys are at. It's near some mountains.
L?
What was up?
1 L in kill?
No, I'm pretty sure it is two L's. It is Kill. Yep, Fishkill is the name of a legitimate town in New York. Patrick Kill. It's like waterway involving Patrick. Probably a bidet. Moving on. You guys actually decide to reconnoiter into the greater town of we'll just call it Mount Kill for now. And you do find like a relatively homey diner there. And that one is called, oh goodness, I don't have any diner names prepared. This diner is going to be called Toadies.
Toby's.
I said Toadies, but I like Toby's better, so I'm canonically making it Toby's. Toby's Diner. Toby's Diner. Yeah, you guys kind of slide in and you reconnoiter, touch base for like you guys had a phone call about, all right, we got another job. We're all going. You guys all found the invite. It was weird. Chris mentioned Amanda was doing her own thing, and you guys just all unanimously, what? And then just let it slide because telling Chris and Amanda to do something other than what they want is not quite useful.
You are not wrong.
Do you guys have anything you want to initially ask each other?
Nope. More other than
Have you had anything good to eat lately?
Hey, Pat, you pay your water bill?
Pat's not muted. He's just not answering. He's giving you the eyes.
Or are you asking? Or are you trying to ask me? I was the one without the water bill.
We all got water bills.
Oh.
Fine. Shut up. And okay, fine. You guys on the way were doing maybe some quick research, and now that you guys realize that the town is really uppity, maybe you do a little bit of a different research. Give me some roles, whoever wants to be the researchers.
I'll do it.
Okay, Justin, that's cool. Michael, you're too busy driving. You're on your own.
I'm
Chris,
going to be doing some investigation.
okay, and Patrick, were you driving and on your phone, you piece of shit?
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Okay, then give me an investigation check.
What for ability? Intelligence?
Intelligence is fine. It probably wouldn't be perception, so intelligence makes sense, and then you can roll it with the skill that you think makes sense.
So we're looking for.
I'll let you guys choose the skills, and I'll give you information related to that skill this time. Like you can do a more specific search on either the location or the people or whatever.
Can I use my higher education asset?
You're looking up the colleges?
I don't know. Like
I'm not
higher education. I'm trying to think what we'd use that for.
Well, I don't know if it would be like an asset per se. I'm more looking for your skill that you'd use. But in terms of an asset for that one, oh god, I don't know if there's any asset that would really help. Let me take a quick look at that list.
At the very least, giving them like a place to start. Now that we know this is like a relatively rich,
I got really good.
Let Michael finish, you fucker.
So now that we know it's like a really good neighborhood, like mansions, super rich people, chances are whatever wedding this is, assuming, well, I am assuming, it is definitely going to be like published somewhere, or it's going to like make news, so to speak. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything skill-wise that would really do much for me unless I was researching the bureaucracy or politics of the area.
I'd allow that.
Okay. I can research the politics of the area specifically. So this is a D10 and a D8. Don't be a 1. Ignore me. I didn't find anything. I know that they have a system of politics. I did not botch. No.
He does swerve a little bit when he realizes, gotta get off this exit, and he doesn't really quite accomplish his Google search very well. And he gets distracted because Queen comes on, and he immediately smashes next button, and he wonders
on a country station.
Yeah, on the country. He wonders why the fuck the country station's playing Queen.
You're
and then you
welcome.
realize it's an advertisement for the movie that would have already come out. Huh? Is it coming out in November? I don't remember. The Queen
Don't
movie?
know, not watching it.
I'm gonna do mythology, and also I have uncommon knowledge, so I'm gonna add that if that's possible.
Yep.
All right, so I got
Even
D8
though this is probably common
D10.
knowledge for the area.
and D4.
Well, he could also be like looking up like just the areas or anything weird. Like, is there like a Jersey Devil of Kingsport?
I got 17.
Stephen, Kingsport, Stephen in chat. Kingsport is in upstate New York. It is a fictional town, so if you are trying to Google it, it's not going to happen. It's somewhere between Albany and whatever the other big town up north. I can't remember what it is. There's two towns that kind of like
Canada.
Well, it's not between there and Canada. It's kind of in the middle.
He's been looking up. Sorry, Steve.
I specifically choose fake towns for this. I don't think Rochester was the city I was looking for. There's specifically, I try not to use real places because I don't want to shit on people's where they live, and everyone I make is going to be some kind of weird, So, all right, what was your role for the kind of mythology and weird knowledge?
What did I say? 17.
17. 17 is like you get formidable amounts of information. You get like different things of like, they might have had some fun reports like the Jersey Devil, which does pop up in certain areas in New York, but like in particularly in Kingsport, it's such a small hamlet, nothing super mythological. However, it does have one of the biggest churches in upstate New York. It is a big, beautiful, well done cathedral style church. People threw a lot of money into its construction, and it's old. It is an old ass church. And there's a lot of stuff like in there. Like you get a couple like ghost stories, which pop up as, for lulls, the nun who died after, some sort of being, shamed and then run off. But otherwise it's more so like some people will go there for the church's archives and other stuff they have in their like repository because it's just so old and storied. It is a Christian church, so you start to get your spider sense tingling. You're Christian, yes, bro?
Yeah.
Okay. Queen's Socket. I don't know where Queen's Socket is, but it might be next to Queen's Socket. And yeah, and then Christopher, what was your role, and what were you aiming it at?
14. I was just getting investigation. I was trying to get a general layout of the area, maybe any weird happenstance that goes on up there.
I'll say you were starting that up, and then Justin kind of was like, nah, I got this one. And then so you decided to look into maybe Martha and Terrence.
Sure.
Which investigation kind of makes sense for, I think. Syracuse. Thank you, Stephen. It's in between Albany and Syracuse. And this is why we need Stephen in the chat, because when he's not in chat, I don't know anything. All right. And for the investigation, you actually it doesn't take too long to dig up some information. What was your role, though?
14.
14. Okay. You get some information on Martha, the bride. Turns out she's actually
Eris?
Yeah, an heiress. She's very wealthy. She's actually from France, and she is not a U.S. citizen, I guess is what I was trying to say. She is directly from France. She apparently met her fiance or her husband to be in a couple days at this point. She met her husband to be, which I guess is fiance, huh? Just ignore me. I'm so tired.
I don't usually like the French word for it.
Well, fuck you. While he was studying abroad at a school in France, they met while he was over there, and then they were in a long distance relationship for a while. Again, all of this is in the article that, like Michael mentioned, would be kind of a high profile thing, especially for the town. And they've been sweethearts since then, but eventually she moved over, ostensibly for work, but they're hoping to get married, and then she gets to stay. No problem there. It does seem like the relationship has been going on for a while. So with your pretty solid investigative role, you know that it's not like she's not getting married for a green card or anything like that. She's genuinely in a relationship that's long term, and they're trying to now start a life together. On Terrence, he comes from a wealthy family based in America. They make their money through, it looks like, electricity or possibly phone companies. It's not quite clear. They're pretty much uppity ups in terms of what they do. It's like they have a hand in a lot of different things. They're not particularly public figures, though, and you don't really turn up any really concerning dirt on any of them. Most of the searches are pretty harmless. You get maybe some of the businesses they're involved in, a couple functions they've attended, including their close family, and then them as well, Terrence and Martha.
Are either of them hunters? If I were to reach out to
Nick,
Tessa.
Nick or Allset, yeah,
Allset,
no,
Allset,
you
Tessa backwards.
that's fine. You don't actually get anything. No, no hunters, and upstate New York is not usually a common place for hunting. Although he does say, we do appreciate you guys not shitting in your backyard again. Learned your lesson, did ya?
I mean, sure. Yeah, we learned our lesson. I don't mention the invitation.
All right. Now that I know you're want to hunt, I'll keep my phone ready and kind of be aware of you guys. But if you can't reach me, go for your buddy Nick. He's got his ways of contacting folks. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Chat with you later. And yeah, so good to go there. And do I have anything else for you? No, that's good. That's what you guys got. All right, and you guys are in Toby's Diner. You guys have a couple of areas that you guys can try and pursue, and I'll give them kind of out to you. Terrence has a relatively large estate that he lives on. It is with his family. He still lives kind of at home with his folks. He is probably 25, 26. Martha about the same. They're college graduates. Working for, I guess both ostensibly working for Terrence's parents. And Martha lives in a kind of like what would you call it, like a pool house attached to their family's estate, because her family's back in France. So she doesn't live technically with Terrence, but it's on the same property. So you could theoretically go to the Ellison Mansion, which is in Kingsport. It's in one of the more wealthier kind of sublets of Kingsport. You could also attend the church. They are getting married in that church. Which what's the naming convention on churches? Somebody wanna help me out there? I've like barely been into churches in my entire life.
Whatever the name of the church is, it'd be like,
First
Head's Church?
Life
congregation of
Church.
such and such, first parish something or other.
Depends on. Yeah, it also depends on
Whoever.
the actual
Can it be like a third parish?
denomination.
Ooh, I just found a article. The 9 worst kinds of hilariously trendy church names. Oh, I guess it wouldn't be trendy. It's old.
It's an old one that it's probably like.
Do it anyway.
Call it the old parish church.
Is parish?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
You guys are killing
Well, what
me.
If it were my
denomination
choice,
is
it
it?
would be
I mean,
the Temple of the Black Mass or
We
something.
do have a couple, agnostic atheists in this group,
Just
Yeah,
a couple.
few.
List of old famous.
I think you have 4.
I mean, is it
churches.
like a Unitarian church?
I don't know
Is
what
it
that
like
More in this
means.
group.
Episcopal? Is it like, what is it? What are we talking here?
Is it just inside? Well, is it Christian?
I don't know. Pick one and tell me a name. I literally. Okay, so we got St. Peter's Basilica, which is in Rome.
Hey, everybody does
Westminster
St.
Abbey,
Peter. Go
which is
for
in-
it.
What's an abbey? Can it be an cathedral? Well, okay,
Just call it Saint Aquinas.
Hey,
No,
well, the
I
thing
don't-
is, if it's a Catholic church, then they'll name it after a saint, but a Christian church normally wouldn't, because we don't give a shit about the saints.
Don't just call it the first church. Kill Mountain, whatever.
Okay,
No one
the
gives a
the
shit.
the
It's not
first.
worth 10 minutes.
It is worth it to me. It's important. It's so important that I didn't pre-plan it. It's gonna be the first cathedral, because these people were rich and wanted you to know it was a cathedral, of Kingsport. It is also the only cathedral of Kingsport, and in fact,
Good.
there's only a small abbey on the other side of town that does not get anywhere near as much business or acclaim because it has this big
Because it's
towering.
not a cathedral.
What was that?
Because it's not a cathedral.
Because it's not a cathedral. You got the option of a little abbey or the cathedral, and everyone in this town kind of aims for the cathedral, which is the first cathedral of Kingsport. Thank you, Patrick, for that really thoughtful name.
I did.
I'm so glad that you helped me with world building and you don't complain about it, because this is what make RPGs so great.
Good job, Patrick.
10 minutes on what to call the fucking
Why didn't you
restaurant.
come up with a name, Pat? Jeez,
Did.
jeez, Pat.
He actually did say,
Yeah, why
"Call it
didn't you
the
come up with
first,
a good
first,
name,
first."
Pat?
All right.
Good. Jeez.
So you could go visit the first cathedral of Kingsport, which is where your invitation told you guys to go to. It's also where the listing for their wedding was in the article online. Additionally, you could go. There is a local library, which they just call the library with a capital T in the.
Thank you.
Any quick Google searches? Is there anything on missing persons in the area?
No,
How,
no,
how
there
old
isn't
is
even
the-
like a police blotter, and they don't have a dedicated police force in Kingsport. The force from Mount Kill is the one that kind of covers their jurisdiction.
How old is the first cathedral?
You piece of shit, Christopher. It's really old.
Okay. Well, then I want to go there.
Thank you for helping him world build, Chris. You know, this information
Yeah.
is so important.
Yeah.
Well, before we start going anywhere, should we maybe talk about how we're gonna approach this?
What
Like,
do
are we
what-
actually, guys?
what
Are
are
we
we
actually like invited to this? Like, are we just gonna go in as guests?
I don't know. I have my my invitation.
Yeah, I got
right?
mine
When we
too.
look at the invitations for other people, do they look like invitations?
They didn't have any names on it. They were non-specific invitations. It's something that you'd get kind of in addition to like a signed card, like a signing card, something
Right.
like
But what I mean is, like, when I look at Justin or Chris's, does it look like a water bill or does it look like an invitation?
that. Because they're pieces of shit. It's an electric bill, Michael, and it looks like an electric bill when you look at his.
Yeah, so that's not gonna fly.
Also, that church was erected in 1800, and it made cathedral status about 20 years later.
Okay. Thank you.
How
Are
that
there any
works.
Saints bones there?
Isn't it built as a
Justin.
cathedral?
I'm looking at the St. Louis Cathedral, or St. Louis. I don't fucking know how these saints work. Sure, St. Louis. Let's do that. That sounds right. And the first church was built in 1718. The third, I guess they got it wrong the first time, was built in 1789 and was raised to cathedral rank in 1793. So since I Googled oldest church in America, I made ours not quite the oldest church in America.
Justin,
Mhm.
I want to go here because we have literally no idea what we're doing up here.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like freaking out about this whole wedding deal because like how do we get in there? How do we talk? Like, they're not gonna know who we are.
Who cares? I mean, it's a church. We go in, we pretend to pray.
The wedding isn't today. You guys would not have shown up on
the
wedding.
Oh yeah, wedding's in a couple days.
I'm not talking about getting into the church. That's not a big deal. I'm talking about the wedding. Like, we should probably like. I guess I really did want to check about
on their door and ask them what's up.
Yeah, you do that at a wedding all the time? Is that what you do?
No.
You just go to weddings and you're like,
why don't we go to the people who gave us these invitations and say, hey, who are you? How do you know me? Congratulations, by the way.
I don't think they sent it to us. I don't think they themselves sent us this.
Yeah, no.
So
if Patrick was paying attention, he would know that if you look at another person's invitation, it doesn't look like an invitation.
I know that.
Do I still have to
I don't think you did.
What was that, Christopher?
Do I still have to pay the water bill?
Electric bill or water bill? I know.
Mine's a water bill.
Yours wasn't a water bill. Yours was the.
You told me mine was a water bill. Justin's an electric bill.
No, I did not. Yours is the artistic rendition of an ass,
shoot,
as drawn by Molly and delivered late by Patrick.
All right. Well, then I don't.
Christopher, you're the good one. You can't do this to me.
Sorry, that was my bad.
You didn't actually tell me what mine was.
Look, we all agree that this person is the common, that these two people are the common point. So why don't we just go talk to them?
well, yeah. I'm just thinking ahead. That's all. I don't.
You think they're gonna
wanna
let a
go.
bunch of strangers, or they're gonna want to spare time with all the stuff they probably have to do over the next couple days?
Yeah. So yeah, Pat, if we do that, what is your plan? I mean,
Triangle.
yeah. Like how do you?
I want to make sure that the only weird thing that I have to eat on this mission is the cake.
For the record, only Michael technically knows you eat shit like a weirdo.
I mean, I know you're a vegetarian, but
I thought that he let that slip to everybody.
Michael doesn't let anything slip ever. Now, he definitely in private digs on you about it all the fucking time.
Oh, okay, then I don't say that.
Okay, I didn't think you would.
It's weird though. This invitation did not have a vegetarian option.
Don't worry about it.
hey, I put a vegetarian offering in my wedding, so high five.
You did. It was delicious.
Yeah, so I hear. So yeah, Pat, if you want to talk to them, how would you broach that subject? Like,
I would ask them. I don't know.
So that's why I want to check out the wedding venue first. So it's a church. It's basically open to the public.
Fine, go.
We can take a look, see what we're dealing with. We have a couple days. Dustin, how many days do we have till the actual wedding?
I will say that you guys had to get some stuff ready. I said that the wedding was going to be on November the 17th. I will say it is Thursday. It is 2 days prior to the wedding.
All right, cool. Plenty of time.
I will go with you.
You hear from the corner. You didn't even see me sneak off. You just hear in the background my car door slam as I fly off in the general direction.
Wow, those decals really make it go quicker.
Just as a heads up for out of character purposes, this is not the normal speed up thing that I usually do in like all of our other games. Patrick is just sick of shit and he's not talking about it and he's just mad.
Patrick the character, not Patrick the player. I'm
correct.
I don't know. I think it could be both.
I think it could also be both, but I'm happy that he's trying to cage
Justin, what did you
Patrick
say to
the
him?
character.
I don't know. Just the
No,
character was just trying to figure
pisses him
out.
off.
Huh?
Without actually implying anything, I'll just simply say it must have been something he ate.
Bazinga, nailed it.
Fair point.
I'm just trying to come up with like an angle here. Like, what are we supposed? Like, what am I supposed to
I'm
tell
just
people?
saying
I'm with you there, Justin. I'm totally with you. So that's why I say, check
gotta
out
be
the
a
church
dick.
first.
Yeah, GM Lean, the church would definitely be like a literal landmark for the area. Like this is a place a lot of people go to. People will take trips, like pilgrimages of sorts, to Kingsport for this church. So the fact that you guys want to go check out the church, even if there's a wedding going on, not a problem.
Cool. Let's go check it
Yeah.
out.
I'm cool with going there.
Alrighty then.
We show up like 10 minutes after Patrick because we debated stuff.
Yeah.
Debated or never mind.
Ah,
fine.
he's the
It's-
master. All right, I got you.
Is Joseph around?
Joseph's probably not around yet.
So
Well, supposedly he comes around whenever he feels like it.
By the
It's a
way-
little. He's getting some powers back.
By the
when
way, I'm wearing gloves.
you
You
want
do not
gloves?
need to be wearing gloves. I've told you this 100 times.
We'll never trust you.
No, I'm wearing gloves for a different reason.
Oh,
Why?
I'm
'Cause they
sorry.
look so
Now you're doing like
sweet.
the Rogue style gloves. Rogue from X-Men.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly.
I can't find
you
what I.
Neato fashion
That
choice,
works.
Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Is the question.
So when those guys show up, are you okay with me setting a scene or
Yes,
nay?
please take it.
Oh, you're already gone?
Yeah, they all got in there. Like they're driving up. They're gonna meet you at the cathedral, which is more or less in the center of town.
Okay.
Can you
Center
even
of the
go in there?
hamlet.
What
What?
was that?
Can you even like go into a church?
Yeah, it hurts a little bit, but yeah. So when the guys pull up to the parking lot, you said that there was a wedding going on already, just not related to ours. No? Okay. What day is it? Is it a mass day or no?
Thursday, so no.
So no mass. Okay. So we show the guys show up, and there's a few cars in the parking lot. They're having a meeting of some sort. And as they approach, they can see that I'm talking to someone representing the church, a father of some sort. He got the collar, and in stark contrast to the mood I was in before, I seem to be laughing it up and chatting with the priest here, and
Father Courtenay.
Father Courtenay. And what I'd like to do is roll to basically set up a sort of friendly banter with
If he's sexually attracted to you or not, is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not that young.
I kid. I'm teasing. Oh, Patrick.
Mm,
Oh.
For shame. Bad Patrick. That's not why I did this. That's not why I did this.
whoopsies.
Oops.
Jesus.
Well, now it's canon. Go for it.
All right.
So anyway, I was going to roll. I guess this would not be persuasion because I'm not trying to persuade him of anything. So it would just be influence instead, the more basic stat. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would be that with my willpower. And can I use good-natured?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be D10, D6, and D4. D10, D6, D4. So 13.
13?
Yeah.
That's a lot of dice you roll just to get a 13.
Yep.
It's
My
not a bad roll. It still gets you through like hard difficulty. The father, the priest himself, he's been very amicable. He gets a lot of tourists, so interacting with people is.
Because you got the hard difficulty.
What was that?
With the priest, he got the hard difficulty.
Yes, he got through the hard difficulty, which is just to say that the table of difficulties 13 is between hard and formidable. But what this represents in terms of game terms is that the father tends to. He's the more personable one of the group. You did manage to find one that's certainly not reserved, not kind of annoyed when people tramp on their duties and make the church a mess and have to get cleaned up. He's the one who really likes the attention. He's about 55 years old, and he looks relatively fit for his age. He's balding at the top, but he's got more hair than Dustin does. And
Low bar.
yeah. It wasn't that hard. He wears glasses, which he kind of wears on the tip of his nose, but he seems very energetic and he kind of matches your energy. he would be like, he quickly elevates from status of stranger to acquaintance with you as you guys kind of talk back and forth. Question, do you approach this from the angle of an atheist trying to expand your horizons, or do you try and like do the ploy where you are religious to whatever degree you want to pretend?
Nope. Simply saying that I'm invited from someone I haven't heard from in a long time for their upcoming nuptials.
Okay.
I didn't say who it was yet or anything like that. Just,
Oh, totally fine. He wouldn't care. Someone is playing with something into their microphone, and I'm going to kill you when I find out who it is. It is a metallic sound. You know who you are. What was that?
I hear none of that, so it's not going to be on this.
Oh, it's totally Patrick. Look at that shitty.
I can't tell. I hear it, and it's like someone's playing with a keychain or something, or like a bottle cap. It's a very
belt buckle.
Belt. Oh Jesus! Oh yeah.
Why are you playing with your belt buckle?
It sounds exactly like a belt buckle. He's talking to a priest. We know why he's playing with his belt buckle. Oh, came back at. Okay.
Dustin.
Again, hard difficulty.
Inappropriate.
A priest was hard. Yes. All right. So you found. Okay. Yeah, he's interested with the services. He is not preachy and he does not dig into religion, although he does like the history of the church. So if you inquired at all, he is willing to talk. But when everyone shows up, you're kind of out in front of the cathedral, like the big old steps going into the front, kind of dual doors there, double doors. That's the word I meant, double doors. And there's people kind of going in and out and around the church. Some people taking pictures outside. It's not massively crowded on a Thursday afternoon, but there's still people hanging around who aren't necessarily there on church business. They're not particularly getting ready to pray or give confession. So you guys don't stand out particularly, although Patrick is now going to be recognized at least from Father Courtenay. I don't know how you say this. It might be however Patrick said it. I liked how he said it better. Courtenay.
I didn't say anybody's name.
You did. You repeated it after me, and it sounded better than when I said it, and it made me sad.
Are you sure that was me? I don't
100%.
remember.
I'm 100% sure. Steve will back me up with the clip. All right. It's not a funny clip. Don't please. Patrick, did you want to enhance that scene in any particular way, or just that you're talking and you have like a rapport with someone when they pull up?
It was mostly just talking and spin it however you want it when the guys show up, and I'll figure something out.
All right, you're in talks, and the father is kind of laughing at something you said about, I don't know, the size of the church and the motion of the ocean. I don't know what you were talking about. It's fine. And Justin, Michael, and Christopher, you guys all kind of stroll up to join Patrick. And you guys maybe over here as you guys are approaching that, they do seem to just be chatting. Patrick isn't grilling the priest, and the priest is not espousing any sort of, particular knowledge. They're just chatting.
I kind of do my own thing. I see Pat doing, the social thing. So I'm going to go inside the church. I take it they're outside the church?
Yeah, they're in the front steps, like on the actual big stone steps. The church itself, it's really nicely done. It's mostly stone, and it does have two like actual like kind of towers or turret shaped corners at the front. There is towards the like slightly set back in that, and the roof of the church, like another spire that has up, and it's got a big old cross at the peak of the spire. And it's not exceptionally large, other than the fact that it goes up large. I'm sorry, it's pretty tall. I don't know how tall you'd call a regular cathedral, but it's tall. It's significant. It is the biggest thing on the skyline of Kingsport. But it's the grounds itself is relatively reasonable. It's got like some function area off to we'll call it the east side of the church, which I should note, and then onto the right side there's a really well maintained and sizable graveyard.
Is it like Gothic style, like with gargoyles and stuff?
If it was made in 1800, does that make sense?
It depends, because I mean it.
Yes, there's gargoyles and stuff.
Okay. Nice.
Patrick, are you happy?
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Yeah,
I would take a look around outside.
That's my secret, Dustin. I'm never happy.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, there are like carvings into the stonework, and it is an artistically done church. Again, there was a lot of money thrown into it Kingsport has apparently always been an affluent town and has not changed.
All right. So before, I guess, splitting everybody up, I look at Justin, look at Michael, and I take out my phone, I call them, and put it in my pocket.
Again, this is one of Chris's many burner phones that he keeps on him, and as you guys do, that's one of the priorities that your fake FBI friend Allset kind of force on you guys, is to learn how to use burner phones and get rid of them when you really don't need them anymore.
So I give him a call, and I head on inside of the church.
Okay, no problem. I might have to get you guys an operating budget, and we never came to that, but I guess you guys aren't buying anything yet. We'll talk about it again at the end of the show.
Stop at the gift shop on our way out of the church.
Fuckers.
Those cookies were delicious.
You pieces of shit, stop it.
I don't know
Inside.
why you're saying that, Pat. You know you're the only one leaving with a gift.
It's a priestly gift.
I'm sorry that's what this has turned into, Patrick. I'll be better in Starfinder, I promise.
No, you won't.
You shouldn't have played yourself. You're such a Casanova. It's hard.
That wasn't my fault.
I know you were born that way. I get it, man.
No.
Is anyone going inside the church? Is kind of their first act.
Yeah, I'd
Against
go inside
Christopher,
as well.
Oh, so
anyone else?
No one's coming up to.
Nope.
Michael, are you approaching Patrick and Father Courtenay?
I thought you just distracted him so we can go look into.
Oh,
church.
you don't need a distraction again.
I might just say, like, is it okay if I go in? Can I go in and check? Okay, I'm going.
I just see the guys and I
I want to see if Joseph Burns.
I just wave at the guys as they're walking up the stairs. Hey guys.
I don't know him.
Does anyone? No, Justin doesn't acknowledge you. I believe that. Chris, I assume you say, hello.
Yeah, that's hello.
Yeah. All right. So you do get away from your friends who then ignore you entirely and walk up the stairs.
Jackasses.
Okay.
I mean, hey, your body language said you wanted to get there first.
I just rather not talk to
So
you guys.
rude.
I don't know what you want from me.
Let's be honest. We probably assumed you'd think we'd screw up whatever it is you're doing, so we were giving you the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
No,
I'll
I
get.
was sick of waiting in the parking lot for you guys, so I hopped up and started a conversation. I just figured the priest would be a good place to get information.
He's great. I'll let you guys go inside the church, and I'll come to you guys in a second. Patrick, your conversation with Father Courtenay, now that you see that your friends are here and have walked past, and the father gives a polite, hand raise to Christopher mostly because the other two are jackasses. Do you change your conversation at all? Do you focus on a particular subject? Do you disengage?
No. About this church, you guys process I guess process isn't the right word. I imagine you have a lot of really nice weddings here.
Yeah. Yes. We are a common function hall for weddings. We actually get booked out years in advance at this point. You couldn't schedule a wedding here until 2020 if the last time I looked at the calendar was right. It's like Disney World, but for weddings.
My God, I guess you really have to be committed to book that far out ahead. I mean, who gets engaged for years at a time?
Is that a dig at me?
No.
Yes, it's a dig at you.
That's a dig at me, isn't it?
No.
How many years are you engaged, Chris?
4.5. I bought a house and got engaged within 2 weeks of each other. Needless to say, we weren't in any hurry.
So when did out of character, the wedding is this weekend?
It is 2 days from the day you were talking to Father Courtenay.
I'm assuming is a Thursday. You said it was Thursday, so Saturday. So how long was Saturday's wedding on the books?
Saturday. Oh, you're talking about the Ellison wedding, aren't you?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't really handle the booking of facilities. I'm more work on the day to day. But if I remember correctly, that one was actually a bit last minute. I think they last minute as in they were asking for the next cancellation for them to be first in line for like a will call situation, I believe. So they got in about probably still a solid 6 months ago, but that's pretty tall order for the way we get booked out. Someone was not quite as committed as you so eloquently put it.
Things happen.
Yeah,
So
well, things happen by his will, of course.
of course. I mean, how else would it happen? Not happenstance, surely.
I mean, 50-50, right?
50-50. So they snuck in at the last minute. Do you are you giving the toe ceremony eulogy, whatever?
You're not married, are you, son?
No.
Okay.
What
No, I'm not the officiant. No. Like I said, I more do the day to day. They would have gotten one of the other fathers to do the service, maybe Father Joseph or Father Kava.
Yeah, so I was actually really surprised to get an invite in the first place. I mean, I met Terrence once a long time ago, and I mean, we hit it off very well, but I haven't heard from him in a while, so I was surprised to get an invite.
That's interesting. I thought it was a relatively private affair, but I suppose when you have a family like the Ellisons, and not to mention the Bethanys, they must have a lot of acquaintances kind of get rolled in there, especially business acquaintances. So I suppose it's just a matter of who you know, I guess, right?
That would make sense. Old money, old family, old families with old money.
I mostly do old faith and old buildings, but I'll take your word for it.
You're the luckier one.
Not sure luck had anything to do with it, son.
That's a good point.
I'm sorry. I guess you're saying my son. That's right. Sorry, is that the right nomenclature? My son. This is how church. Justin, I'm looking at you, man. You're the only one who's ever been inside a church.
Hey,
He ain't no
I'm
doubt
not
about it.
Catholic. I don't know.
Did you say Father Joseph or Father Kava?
Father Joseph or Father Kava, Kava.
Oh, I was close. All right, well, it's been lovely talking to you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna head inside and take a look at this establishment. Do you have any suggestions for things to check out? I'm kind of a history buff myself.
Well, if you can get signed permission writ, you can potentially get into the archives in the basement of the church for history. It's a interesting collection down there. You can get history for a lot more than just Kingsport, but I will say, especially so close to a big event, getting permission is going to be a bit of a tall order, and they don't usually let anyone from the public down there except for on the weekends. And again, if we're running a wedding like the Ellisons, I think they will probably not. But if you guys are around for a while, it's definitely worth a check out. Maybe after the wedding.
I look up and I say, yeah, it's that's a shame. I'm not gonna be around much after the wedding. And if I could, I don't have the detail, but if I could spend like a plot point or something to rattle off some impressive factoid about old style churches like this. I don't have any factoid for you, but
you point to a nearby archway and you point out the keystone, which is the stone at the very peak of the arch, and you talk about how that is such a beautifully done keystone, and you like how they even did artistic designs to it, which is quite difficult because that is the focal point that holds not only the arch together but most of the structure directly above it.
I like that. In an attempt to make him see that I am interested, maybe he'll give me this permission or sneak me in.
He won't, but he does say, "Oh, you're interested in the architecture too." Yeah, I could say that the archives would be a good bet for you. I believe there's a lot of old documents of the construction, especially considering the church was rebuilt at least once, sometime in the 1800s, I think. If you mention to Father Kava that you are interested in the architecture, or I mean, maybe if you were even a student, I know he's got a soft spot for students, might be able to get some headway on getting that permission.
Oh, that sounds great. Do you know why it was? And last question, do you know why it was rebuilt?
Oh, I have no idea. It was
No idea.
burned or something. I think that's why they changed it over to being a stone building or something. I don't remember.
Sounds great. Okay, well, I'm gonna head inside and see if I can dig up some history.
All right, and you'll be coming in a little bit after the guys who get in there before you. That is Justin, Michael, and Christopher. And as you guys get into the church, I really don't know what the inside of a cathedral looks like, so we're going to do a quick inside a cathedral.
Big open ass room in the shape of a cross.
It has a
Got
bunch of
pews.
All right. So as you guys walk in, it's a big open ass room in the shape of a cross. So what we have are it's a very large ornate structure, which we kind of already got from the back end. As you walk in, there are pews that are more like they're actually individual kind of chairs, and they're like really well done. They're nicely upholstered. Everything in there for furniture is a deeper brown wood. Which seems to match some of the scaffolding you see that kind of is in between the wooden structures, which gives it a nice texture on the very tall ceiling. There are large stone pillars rise into arches kind of all throughout this building, on making kind of like a split in between those chairs that lead up to the front, which is the pulpit, or wherever a priest would give a sermon from. And then as you kind of get closer to where the sermons are, the building does branch off, going left and right, making, as Patrick said, the shape of a cross with the structure of the building. And in those areas, there's different cloisters where there's maybe some sculptures, and the windows are glass stained and depicting things that a Catholic church would depict, because I don't know anything about religion.
Justin?
Dustin?
Aw, he froze.
Oh,
Everybody freeze.
oh, he's gone.
I think he's gone.
Oh no, he dropped. Quick, talk all of the shit about him that you possibly can. We don't have enough time. He'll be back before we're done.
Well, I mean,
We're all in the wrong
He's-
spots now, aren't we?
So who do we blame for this?
But it is a.
Whoa, did he just come
Whoa,
back?
there he
Did
is.
come back.
He's back.
You
Am I
were
in the right
gone-
spot on Twitch?
You were gone for a
Yep.
good
Am I in the-
1
Minute and a half.
minute
Hey, I
and a
don't need to
half.
clap because there's going to be a big, long silent section.
Am I in the right spot
Yeah, you're
on
good.
Twitch? Okay. What did you guys cut off on for the church description?
I don't know. I don't pay attention when you talk.
You have no idea what the hell is on the inside of a church.
Yep.
That's it?
Yeah,
It's
you
been a
got
while.
30 seconds.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I gave such a long description. Oh.
Good job. Try it again.
Well, you
I mean,
did
it was
describe
after
the shape of
no,
it.
it was the stained
You
glass
said
windows.
cloister.
Oh, okay. So I did get to the
Yeah.
fact that it looks like a cross, as Patrick said, and like how the hallway goes.
Yeah.
Hallway in terms of width, just so you guys have the chairs. There's 10 chairs next to each other, a gap for a nice hallway that could probably have 3 of you guys walking shoulder to shoulder, and then 10 chairs on the other side, just so you kind of have like the frame of reference for how big this hallway is. There are annexes on the side that you can go into that have like little sublets or like waiting rooms or greeting rooms. It is not just this giant structure. There is some other areas into the church, because the church does have many functions. It is the kind of primary religious focus point for the town. In terms of people, there are some people sitting in the chairs. There's no priest up at the pulpit. I don't know where people to call that thing, but there are different priests maybe walking around the building. Some talking to each other as they walk down and kind of disappear off to a hallway, and a couple, kind of milling about close to you guys. People dressed in robes.
Okay, I'm going to kind of just like walk around and look at the the architecture, the stained glass and everything, and see if I can tell if anything looks out of place, like that would not normally be in a church, or like a scene depicted in like one of the windows, or a statue or something that they have in there that normally would not be in a church.
Sure. You gonna give me a check for that?
Yeah, so I'll give you a religion, intelligence, and I'm actually going to use some... I might as well use some plot points, because why the hell not? So
Are you going to use plot points to increase a die, or are you going to
yeah. So
plot
is it
points to increase the final roll by 1?
because you can add die, right? If I use 2, I can add D4, correct?
You actually technically it's increased the die by another step. So if you were a D8, you pay a plot point, it becomes a D10.
Oh, cool.
If you have
Already a
D12,
D12, then you add a D2 that slowly grows into a D4, a D6, etc.
All right, yeah.
So it would be
sure.
like a D12 plus a D4 for that particular element.
All right, so then I'll spend 1 to make it go up 1 then.
Okay,
So
sounds
I got
good.
2 D10s. Oof, that's terrible. I got a 4.
4.
You can spend the rest of your points to make it okay.
Huh? Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. So the way that's going to work out is you realize that you are, well, you feel spiritual and you appreciate religion for what it is. And you have a deep, abiding respect for those who follow religion even more closely than you do. This is all bullshit, like on the windows. Like you recognize Jesus. And he's got them holes in his hand. He's all bloody and shit. And one dude's poking him in a spear in the gut in the window. But yeah, you don't actually get too much out of that. It looks fine. Looks like nothing. Like there's no like odd monsters. There might be one depiction of a dragon, approaching a dude with a spear in one of the stained glass windows. But other than that, nothing seems kind of outstanding to you. They're all religious in context, at least.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I guess while he's doing that, I'm gonna go into one of the adjacent rooms and just kind of meander around the back ends of the church, see what I can find.
Sure. Most of the church is open to the public, so you get into a couple of rooms that look like if you were in a business, this is like a meeting room, and it's probably maybe one of the places where the priest might even meet, but no one stops you. So there's things out, maybe a couple of books, a couple of Bibles out. There's, a set of robes kind of tucked off to one side, in a closet that's half open. So you get into areas that are huh, this seems kind of weird to be in here, but no one questions you. And if you pass by people, they're friendly and they're used to having people kind of all up in their business.
Is there any spots that might look off limits?
There are not where you are. If you were to walk all the way to the front of the church, behind I'm still going to call it a pulpit until one of you guys fixes my language. Behind the altar where the priest stands and stuff, there is a room back there. Or there's actually, you kind of go either side of the raised platform that the altar thing is on. There are rooms back there. I think it would be called an annex if I'm not mistaken. Those are kind of blocked off. They're not general access to the public, but for the most part, for the church proper, nope, seems all access. But then you will encounter off to we'll call it the right wing of the church. There is a door that has kind of seems to go to basement going down. It does have a label on it archives, and it's a nice metal ornate door that when you kind of touch the handle, it is locked. Again, no priests or security. It's just no one's really fighting you, but the door is locked.
Plot point for lockpicking tools?
Sure.
All right. So what would be all right, so I got lockpicking tools. Do I need to roll anything?
Yes.
Okay, what would you so I got covert. What else would it be?
Agility or alertness, I'd assume.
Alertness?
Depends. Are you trying to lockpick a door, or are you trying to lockpick a door subtly?
Subtly.
Okay, because you're in a room full of people.
Okay, subtly.
Okay. So I would say more with alertness to try and keep an eye on things, and then use your skill to kind of focus on actually getting the door done.
Can I add my ambidextrous asset?
Sure.
Okay.
I need to figure out your which of your complications I should be throwing at you.
Yeah, you should.
Because I think you stand out, don't you?
I am very memorable.
You're gonna have to go ahead and give me a roll for your slightly memorableness to kind of as a negative for that.
All right. And one more dice is.
You'll get a plot point back for that, by the way.
Okay. I just have to re-roll one of these d4s. All right. So let's see. The the asset and the complication cancel each other off.
Sounds
And
good.
I got a total of 5. I'm going to re-roll everything.
You were
Man,
using
feeling
all of
lucky
your
right at this exact second.
All right. Well, let's hope that. All right. So I can't fail. I got 2 altogether.
You still fail. You just don't botch.
Oh,
Botch is a
yeah, I
different
don't botch.
Failing's a thing.
Eh,
I would say a botch would have a very bad story effect.
yeah.
As it is, what will happen is you will feel a hand on your shoulder, and as you do, you kind of quickly like shove the lockpicking kit into your pants, like you're just done, and you kind of like oh, like you jumped and you got startled, and when you turn around, it is an elderly gentleman wearing the black robes of a priest with the white collar of the priesthood.
Mhm.
And it's an older gentleman. He's got a little bit more hair than the dude Patrick was talking to. It's pure white though. He's got a heavy set of freckles on him, and he puts his hands together as he talks. Oh, I'm so sorry, my son. I did not mean to startle you.
Oh, no
I just
worries.
noticed.
I was looking at this door. It looks a little, out of place from everything else in here.
Well, it is to the archives, which were, I believe, originally the site of the old church that this one was built on top of. So it's a bit of reuse, recycle, as the kids say these days, right?
Oh, archives. Like, what kind of stuff? What kind of things do you hold down there?
Archival records,
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
marriages,
to pry.
births, holy texts that are considered old or valuable, and we want to protect, maintain, repair. There are many things down there. For many years, and many decades even, there wasn't a public library of any sort. So any kind of documentation that would be saved, maybe blueprints or town ordinances, many of those we did not give to the town library as they were property of the church for so long. So
My apologies. My
quite a
name's Jonathan, by the way.
hi, Jonathan. I'm Father Joseph. He shakes your hand.
Father Joseph. I'm sorry. I'm kind of I'm kind of new around here. I'm here for a wedding, and I was just kind of doing my own thing, just kind of wandering around, checking out the sites. What can you tell me about this church?
This is the first church, the first cathedral of Kingsport. It is very old. It was almost built at the founding of the town itself. In truth, the cathedral came first, and then the town built up around it. But it was a church first. So
Yeah, you said it was built up on top of the an old church. What happened to the old church?
it burned down like many structures did hundreds of years ago.
Oh, it's such a shame.
I mean, God's will, we got the cathedral. So
Absolutely.
I would say this is one of the times when God didn't work in very mysterious ways. So, it was also a very long time ago.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't mean to take up any of your time here. I'm just gonna head back out of here.
Sure, but the next time you encounter a door that seems out of place, there's no need to actually touch it.
Noted.
Awesome. Thank you for your visit. The church very much appreciates all sort of interesting characters. If you'd like, there will be a service on Sunday, which is open to the public.
I'll make sure to I'll try to make it. I'll be in the area.
All right. I'll look for you, Jonathan.
And I leave quickly.
As far as what I was doing during that time, I imagine there's like all types of like decorators and things along those nature preparing for the wedding?
For the most part, the church itself doesn't need too much by way of decoration. You do see that when you kind of go over to the, you're looking through some of the, like someone like leaves through a door, or you kind of remember as you were approaching, there is more of like a function area off to, I already forgot which direction I said. We'll call it the east, which looks like they were putting up some like really fancy tents. So most of that would probably be done outside, where like the reception will be. The ceremony itself will be in the historical cathedral. You don't really dress up a cathedral.
More or less, I wanted to look and see if any of the stuff they're bringing was out of place, like all the information we've been going through as far as like, say, any of the plants they could be bringing could be poisonous or say have magical meaning to say witches and things like that.
You'd probably have to go outside for that, because they're not, like I said, the cathedral itself is its own thing. You don't really need to touch that up to make it a really special place. None of the plants, I guess there might be plants in the cathedral. None of the plants or the flowers that they are setting up seem to be beyond what you'd expect. They're tasteful, they're muted in color so as to not kind of drown out the church itself. But like you get like your roses and your expensive flower bouquets, nothing out of the ordinary. If you go outside and you want to explore the reception area, you would probably have more access to everything that's being brought on site.
So I know you said the church is kind of, or the cathedral's in like the center of the town. What type of like open areas surround it? Like, is it an open field? Is it just like?
So there is the open area to the. I'm just gonna write this. Reception.
Write this down is now canon.
East. No, I just keep forgetting which direction I say the graveyard's in. To the eastern side of the church, there is a like nice large open field that if you go far enough, you will eventually get like a road that kind of goes around the church. It's like a rotary, like a street where cars drive on. But otherwise, for itself, it's like several acres worth of field, which is done for like event space, and town events happen here. To the other side, there's probably a similar acreage given over to a very well-groomed and maintained cemetery, where there are, some bigger crypts for the wealthy folks that are there, but also other just really well-maintained gravestones. And that's another open space, but it is, there's a like a wall around it. A fence, I guess, more of a fence around it. Behind the church, it's not as much space, and then you hit like some, public roads and things like that, because it is in the center of
town. So in that point, I would actually probably find Chris and Justin and suggest checking out what they're doing outside.
All right, and Patrick at this point is in the church as well. Patrick, are you trying to do anything while you see the guys wandering around? You're muted, you motherfucker.
I know that. Chris, you said that you had called everybody?
He's doing the thing where he leaves his phone like it's a bug so that you guys can listen
Same thing
to
that I did when I went into the
correct.
Okay, understood.
Maybe even something that he kind of learned from you from that instance, which is totes fine. So you did hear him being kind of told off by a priest.
Sure. I would probably just attempt to meet up with Father Kava.
Yeah, you ask around and you get directions to Father Kava. He is let's see, where would he be in this instance? I'll say he's in the church proper, and he's going to be towards where they have really ornate wooden confessionals. He's not in the confessional himself, but he's kind of around there, maybe reading through like a binder, like a really nice, well-maintained binder that if you happen to catch a glimpse of, looks like it has maybe some different pre-prepared sermons.
Sermon, that's fine.
Well, it's the thing you do when you're giving like the wedding, when you're doing the wedding, when you're the officiant, there are things you say like,
Lie.
What?
Keep going.
Brides and grooms pick out like how religious they want it to be, or like what certain passages they want, and he's kind of looking through that. So you kind of catch on to that, and by a quick guess, you suspect you might have found the actual officiant.
Sweet.
as opposed to the other father you were told. I was trying to give you
Right.
a bone, you piece of shit.
No, I got you. I fully support it. I'm just
Okay, well,
being-
he doesn't look up as he's kind of going through stuff.
Problem was he didn't listen to the other two names.
It was Father Joseph, Father
that was it.
Kava, and then the other one that he said I said correctly, but I don't remember Courtenay.
Courtenay, yep.
So I approach him. Excuse me, Father.
I'm not your sorry, I'm joking. Father Kava looks up. He is the youngest one you've met so far. He is at most in his 40s. He's got dark hair kept pretty short, no facial hair, he's clean shaven.
So Patrick age.
Patrick age.
So like 50 something.
His face is maybe a little bit wider, and he looks like he's maybe a little bit more like his heritage might be from just different parts of the world that you're not immediately familiar with. Like his face is a little bit more square than you're used to. His jaw's a little bit more set, and he's a relatively stocky fellow. He's shorter than you, Patrick, by half a head maybe.
Okay, 'cause I'm pretty tall.
Yeah. How tall are you, Patrick?
Not pretty tall. I'm 6 foot.
You know what? I'd say he's probably half a head's a couple inches, right? Yeah, he's a couple inches shorter than you. He's like maybe 5'9", 5'8".
Okay.
And he looks up quickly as you speak, and he's got a hand on the page that he's on just to hold his spot, and he says, "Yes, yes. Can I be of service?"
Possibly. Are you either Father Kava or Father Joseph?
I am Father Kava. Father Joseph is the elderly gentleman across the way, accosting whatever poor soul has wandered across his path.
I look over. Is it one of my guys?
It's Chris.
Oh, I'm enjoying that then. And then I look back and say, well, I was just speaking with Father Courtenay about this. The history of this building. I'm a little bit of a history nerd, and he told me that you might be a decent source of information, possibly even allow me an opportunity to take a look into some of the older features of the church. He was telling me the history about how it was once an older wooden building, and this was brought up, and that you guys do tours of like the archives and whatnot. So I was wondering if you might be able to do that. I know that you guys normally do it on the weekends, but I'm actually here for a wedding this weekend, and then I have to leave immediately afterwards. So I don't think I'd be able to take a look then.
Unfortunately, and I hate to disappoint, unless you're able to stay until Sunday, I really can't spare the time to take you down through the archives. I am the current curator, and we do not let unauthorized persons kind of go through the archives on their own. Usually I'm in attendance, and we really can't spare the manpower while we are in the process of preparing for the wedding I assume you're attending. But as early as Sunday, I can try and swing something together. It would be a little unfortunate timing for cleaning up and getting back in order, but I suppose they could miss me for a few hours if that was the case, if you're available.
That's I thank you for the offer, but that's a darn shame. I'm pretty much leaving Saturday as soon as Terry and Martha get hitched. So
the holy art of matrimony, as they will be undergoing on Saturday. Yes, I'm sorry. If you maybe come back out this way and pre-check that there's not a wedding on the day you're trying to get in or leading up to it, I will be more than happy to help. However, this wedding from such eminent families in the town, or rather, well, I suppose the Ellisons are the eminent local family. We're a little on edge and high touch, as you might imagine.
I don't think you have to worry about all of us eminent families. Some of us are a little bit, more relaxed than the others, but I understand your pressures. So your first wedding?
He flips to a back of the binder. Oh, are you one of the Corbins?
Do I get to take a look at the
Yeah,
at
what
the
did he flip to?
page? Yeah. Can I?
It's a seating chart. You can see it's a seating chart at the very least. It's like got little diagrams of tables.
Do
Like-
I political? Do I recognize any of the names?
It's upside down and in like handwritten script. If you want to give me a roll for it, I'll give you a shot.
Absolutely. I'm gonna give that would be my alertness, I think.
Sure.
And politics, which is a D10, and I'm gonna spend a point to bump up my alertness to a D6.
Sure.
So a D6 and a D10. Not a good start.
What was the roll, Patrick?
My D6 was a 1.
Ooh.
My D8 was an 8.
Okay.
I'm
so
sorry,
9.
that was supposed to be a D10.
Re-rolled it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
you keep
a
you.
9.
Okay. All right. Fine.
And I will pay another one to bump that up to a solid 10.
Okay.
Well, you're
So
at a 10.
11.
huh?
You were already at a 10.
You rolled a 9, and then you
Oh
have the
yeah.
1
Oh,
D6.
so I'm at a 10. Yeah, good point. So I only need to. Never mind. I don't need to do that.
Oh, keep it at the 10. You're able to catch a quick glimpse, and you obviously get like Ellison's and like the other family, and there does seem to be like they divided the way people are sitting, or by like are you on Martha's side or Terrence's side, and you might see like if you look quickly like towards like where the bride and groom will sit, you notice there might be a couple of names that stand out to you, but they're mostly like big figures like Gates, Bill, things like that. Like there are like big corporate names at this wedding that kind of stand out. Nothing like in terms of like the mayor of, I don't know if Hamlets have mayors, but whatever the political figure of either Fishkill or I'm sorry, not Fishkill, Mount Kill or Kingsport, they're like in attendance that you quickly glance at, and you also notice that the Corbin family is about as far away from the bride and groom's table as they can, which is to say they're towards the back of the groups, and they're on Terrence's side.
On Terrence's side.
Yep.
And yeah, I'll take that in. Yes. Well, I'm not. What was it? Corbin.
Corbin.
Well, I'm not a Corbin. I'm a +1 with the Corbins. Known a few of them since the academy. So every
Gotcha.
now and then they like to get the group back together. So big things like this.
Of course, yes. Yep. I mean, I will probably see you around on Saturday. I will be. I have the pleasure of marrying the couple, which I'm very excited to do. Yeah, if maybe I find a free minute after the ceremony, if we can duck down into the archive, I'll do my best, but no promises. Unfortunately, I can't quite speak to how available I'll be. Depends on how demanding the bride and groom are.
I understand. Well, I'll let you get back to your work.
Okay.
I say that not sarcastically. I just couldn't come up with a word.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your interest, and I do hope to see you around. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
And I walk off.
And as you go to walk off, you pass by a nice glass stained window, which you recognize depicts St. Peter and the dragon that Justin had noticed, but was too fucking terrible at religion to figure out what he was looking at. Is it St. George? I'm sorry, is it St. George or St. Peter does the dragon? Someone help me there. St. George. I think it's
You're
St.
talking to an atheist. I don't know.
St. George and the dragon. Sorry, it was St. George. It's St. George and the dragon, which you know because you know now, you piece of shit. You know, you atheist scum. Because Justin didn't and you did. Remember that. And as you're looking up at it, the light, shining really nicely through the kaleidoscope of colors, the light suddenly gets darker for a brief second, and you kind of pause as you're looking at the window, and it implodes into the church. shards of brightly colored glass flinging at your face and body and personage and the area around you, which has maybe another priest, a younger priest that's running around and kind of instinctively throws an arm up as they hear the shatter. What's your attempt as this glass comes hurtling at you? I'll give you a moment to react.
I would probably try to jump behind a pew.
Yeah, not so much pews as like actual individual chairs that you can interact with, but you can dive into the chairs and see what kind of cover they give you. But I will say it's significantly less than an actual like fully wooden pew.
I mean, I don't see anything else that I could.
There are large pillars throughout. You're not necessarily close to one, but you can give a shot like just kind of diving away from the window. Again, the window, while it is large, it's not so large that it's going to fill the
I
entire
think the
church.
human reaction would simply be to dive.
Yeah, sure, dive away.
I dive.
Give me the roll.
What roll?
That would be, what is it? Is it?
No, that would be agility and athletics.
Yes, fair. Agility and athletics.
6 and a 4.
6 and a 4, so 10.
6 and nope, so 6 total.
Oh, 6 total.
I will pay 6 total. I'll pay 3 to get to 9.
Okay. Yeah, you saved yourself a bit. You dive out of the way very quickly. There's another thud as something kind of hits the ground where you were, and you in particular, you take. Let's give you a bit of damage from the glass that kind of cuts into your leg as you're diving out of the way. You'll take 3 wounds, not stun. 3 wounds. You know what? We'll do it. It'll be.
Did I heal those wounds that I took from
yes.
not?
Oh yeah, you totally did. You're up to full. You'll take 2 stun, 1 wound as the glass kind of cuts into your leg just a little bit, just enough, and the throwing yourself at the ground knocks the wind out of you for a moment. But you are able to get out of most of the glass. And as you turn around and you look back at what the hell just happened, there's a gaping hole where the window was in the church, where about probably like 50% of the glass has cascaded into the church, leaving some fragments hanging, catching the light, which is now coming in much stronger into the church. And as you kind of look down at what rolled in after, what had come in through the window, hit the ground behind you, you are looking at what appears to be a stone head. You can clearly see that there's facial features on it, but it is completely made out of stone. And I'm going to say Justin, Christopher, and Michael all notice this and kind of come over as they were about to leave the church. They do kind of, see you in the middle of bullshit again. And you guys are all here within moments.
What does this stone head look like? Does it look like the same one that was part of the campground that started this all?
No. It doesn't look like the stone man. This one looks like it is...
Just had to be sure.
It is a normal size, like it's a 2-scale size head of a human. It looks to be probably female by the style of hair and kind of the slightly finer features, but otherwise it is lacking in much detail. Like the eyes don't have any kind of detail; they're just like carved out. But it's really nice done. It's a really well rendered. It's like when you look at like a statue of like anything Michelangelo did. It's really nicely done. It is like an actual 2-scale, as close as you can get while using stone, supposedly. As you guys are kind of like picking Patrick up, there is a lot of hustle and bustle and absolute outrage and panic at really the damage to the church, as the stained glass windows are absolutely priceless at this point. And as to what the statue is, it's almost as if they haven't really come to grips yet with the window itself. The head itself is being partially ignored.
How close to the exit were we before we heard that?
I'd say you guys are making your way to it. You were probably 20 feet away from the exit, and you were probably another maybe 30, 40 feet away from Patrick himself.
All right. Well, since I have split-second timing, I would like to immediately kind of see what's happening and say, oh crap, I need to get out there and see if I can see what threw that in here.
Sure.
Or who threw that out there. So
So you guys are like, fuck Patrick again, and you turn to flee. Michael, who has a attachment to his friends and a sense of duty, will go and lift Patrick off the ground. And as you guys run,
on him, I'd also look at the other priest.
the other priest, Kava.
Yeah, but or whichever one was close enough that he was potentially caught in.
Oh, it was a priest you guys haven't met with. Just a younger. I don't know what else like other positions there are in a church. So I just said priest. It's a younger dude who
Like
also
altar
works.
boy, like kid.
Not kid. Like he's new to service. But
Bishop? I don't know. It was Bishop.
no, bishop would be bigger. Maybe it's just a brand new priest in his 20s. Maybe it's just a kid. Like not a child, but like a younger adult. They got a couple of lacerations to their face and hands, but otherwise weren't seriously harmed. No one was seriously harmed as you take a quick look around and you go to pick up Patrick. Let's see. As Patrick, do you have any quick response to this, or just the diving, getting up, and kind of stunned? You're gonna let that go?
I would know that I would first check to see if anyone was hurt nearby, and then rush over to take a look at the head.
Okay. I will say we can do a little bit more on that, but it looks like to be a really articulate, well done rendition of a, again, human woman's face. It's at least effeminate in shape. Not that that means it's a woman, because there's different styles of sculpture and whatnot. You don't immediately recognize it. Not that
Right.
that's really a big thing.
No, I wouldn't expect to. But does it look like? And you said it doesn't look like the ones from outside.
You wouldn't have seen a statue outside from the front. There were like gargoyles and things on the stone structures itself. Those weren't necessarily to scale either. This would be something like, if it came from a statue, it would be something like on a pedestal, probably towards the back, if at all. It's not quite clear where it came from.
Okay, and what about the expression you said?
The expression is serene, mouth slightly open, not like any particular expression, not quite Mona Lisa style. I'd say there's maybe like a half smile going, but it's not I guess that is Mona Lisa. Fuck. It's just open mouth, serene, peaceful.
Okay, so I
not
just
terrified, not anything like that.
Gotcha. So I look back up through the opening in the window, and assuming I don't see anything outside.
Blue skies, brother.
Blue sky.
Does this cathedral have any type of security system?
I don't think so.
All right. My next response to Patrick is we need to leave.
I can't think of anything punny to say. This is where I would put in a pun. I got nothing.
God.
Their next call is going to be to the police, and we have no.
And as you go to take your sunglasses off, Patrick says,
"Yep."
Wow.
It beats standing around and getting stoned to death.
Oh.
And we jump to Chris and Chris and Justin that exit the church and round the corner quickly. And you're not the only ones. There are a couple other people who do kind of join you in the, what the hell's going on, and try to see the source of it. And as you get back there doesn't seem to be anything. There's people who were in the relative vicinity helping put the wedding together, carrying things around, running wires, building staging.
The graveyard?
No, this is in the direction of the function, the tents that are going up. And as you guys quickly look around, there's not a statue nearby that it looks like it would have come from, at least on this side. No one seems to be like looking at a particular person or direction. Like they're looking around like, what the fuck just happened? Clearly the shattering of the glass was heard everywhere, but everyone out here looks very confused as to what actually transpired. And there's not like a culprit that seems to have been like picked on, or like no one's like even like, oh, it was him. It was just, seems like no one seemed to notice anything.
I mean, let's be honest, no normal person is probably throwing a statue head that far.
How far up is the window? Is this at like the back of the cathedral?
It's on the
or is it on like the side, or
is on the eastern side of the cathedral. It is towards where the church like does the annex out into like the left cross of the church, but it's before that. So it's I guess front and east side of the church. And the window itself from the outside was probably maybe about 16, 20 feet above the ground. It's significantly up there because like the outside covers a decent amount of ground other than just like the actual church floor.
So it would be kind of hard to toss that big of a stone through, huh?
You guys didn't
Maybe.
pick it up to see how heavy it
That's
was.
true.
So I will say ostensibly, yes, that's a fair assessment. If it was, chucking rocks. And let's see. How do I want to run this? I want to wrap this up because as you guys are looking, I guess any last things anyone wants to do as we're entering the end of this episode?
Nope.
I
Leave
can't
the
wait.
area before the police.
Okay. And you hear a shrill voice screaming, a voice that seems stressed beyond belief and almost cracks a bit as it yells out, "I knew it. I told you. This wedding is cursed." And that's where we will wrap up tonight's episode. For those of you in Twitch chat, hang out for the after party. For those of you listening in our audio podcast or watching us on YouTube, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to review us, leave some comments, give us a thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, whatever gets you more of us and also shows us how much you like us.
Join the Discord.
What
Join the
if you
Discord.
don't?
And if you don't like us, pretend, please. We're making pretend. You can too.
Do we have a Bitly for that, by the way?
What was that?
So do we have a Bitly for the Discord yet?
I'm 99% sure I made a bit.ly for it and I don't remember. You can find in the show notes or in the YouTube description or in the panels below Twitch. You can find all of our information, our links and our contact info, as well as Discord, Twitter, all that fun stuff. I'm not going to go over on video because that's redundant at this point. But yeah, get in touch with us, hang out with us, let us know what you like, didn't like, want to see more of, especially since we might be coming to Starfinder soon. And if you're looking forward to that, let us know. If you have no idea what that is, feel free to chat with us and we'll get you caught up. For now, though, I will say we'll be back here next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. EST, delivering the next episode for this supernatural arc. And if you guys, are interested, please be there. And if you're not interested, just tell your friends. We want them there more than you because you're mean. That was a mean thing to say. I don't know why you said that. Right. For now, have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, just remember, never split the party.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hit him, Stone Lady.
I'll allow it.
All right.